So John, my screen's gone mental. It's almost zoomed out, so you see a lot more of my screen, but you get all the blue.
No, I've noticed that. Are you using a different camera?
No, same laptop, same everything.
It looks good.
Okay, good. Well, I've put some of Barry's records, product placement.
Nice.
So
I didn't think of that. Also, didn't have time, but never mind.
no,
I'm sure Barry can promote his own stuff though.
Yeah,
I'm sure he can.
I've got them there already, so
Yeah.
it's just some subtle stuff.
This is the Sheer Isolation podcast. It's presented by Kieran Moore and Jon Ponting for Sheer Music. Welcome to the Sheer Isolation podcast. Thank you for coming back to us again. We're getting the hang of this, Kieran.
Yes, we are. This is our fourth podcast, and by far the slickest.
Is it though? I don't know. We're still making it. I'm not sure you can claim that yet. We've only just started.
PNA, John, PNA.
At least I got my background around the right way this week. I think that's...
Yeah, mine's gone completely skew-whiff and zoomed out. So no, it's not slick at all. I was lying.
I think it looks all right where you're zoomed out because you get to see more of the posters behind you.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Have you just moved the laptop back a bit? Is that what's happened there?
Definitely not, because that's halfway off the table. So I don't know what's gone on there, John.
Did you move your table? Maybe that's what it is.
Oh, that's that's a possibility. Yes. Oh dear.
So there's you thinking, I don't know why this looks so different. Oh, it's because the table's been moved.
Yeah, we've cleaned under the floor and we've probably moved the table. That's probably what it is.
It's either that or you moved the floor, pushed the wall back a bit, wasn't it? It's one of the two.
One of the two. I've just realised that my wall behind me is actually green, so I could do a green screen.
You could, yeah.
Quite comfortably.
Wait,
I might green screen it next week.
Oh, so you'll be from the Bahamas or from wherever you choose?
I'll be from 2000 Trees, considering it's now cancelled and we can't be there.
That is true. Yeah, we heard that news a few days ago, didn't we? Say that 2000 Trees isn't going ahead. It was expected news because you can't imagine that the festival would have been able to go ahead.
Obviously, they were being really positive about it, and obviously in the various chats you've got with friends about various things, Trees comes up because they haven't cancelled yet, or they're being optimistic, and then obviously it's panned out that it hasn't happened, and that's going to be a blow, a huge blow, because I don't think there's a festival in the UK that encapsulates the UK underground better than Trees.
For those who aren't so big on local festivals, 2000 Trees is based halfway between Cirencester and Cheltenham in a fantastic valley, isn't it? It's an amazing setting. And
the site's quite big, so you never feel like you're crowded with people. But you also, as you walk around, you're constantly bumping into friends, despite, it's just a great festival.
And we are all going to miss it this year. We really are.
Yeah,
we've got James, who's one of the organisers of 2000 Trees. He's coming on the podcast in a couple of weeks' time. He's going to be talking to us about that, I'm sure, and telling us what to do with tickets and what they're planning for next year, and if they are planning anything for this year, because he also organises the Arctangent Festival down in South Bristol. Well, one of the regular faces at 2000 Trees is Barry, also known as Oxygen Thief, also known as Non Canon, and he is our special guest joining us on this week's podcast. So we'll be talking to him. He's got a new album coming out, which I believe you've been listening to, Kieran.
Yes, so he was really kind. He sent us the secret SoundCloud link so that we could listen to the album and playback, and we're going to be doing a share review of it. There'll be a review going up online before the release, so hopefully next week, imminently. And it's a really, really strong album. It's a step forwards. I guess he's going to tell us all about it.
Barry, I hear you've got a new album coming out. So what are the details? What is it, more along the non-canon route or more along the Oxygen Thief route, or something in between?
It's non-canon. It's the second non-canon album. I've got one over my shoulder here, and I can't do the mirroring thing. It's imaginatively titled Non-Canon 2, because the first one was self-titled, and I couldn't be bothered to think of a title, but nothing really really leapt out, So it's kind of a second eponymous one.
And the sound of the album you've developed, haven't you? You've taken a step forwards.
Yeah, the first one was basically guitar, strings, and a little bit of piano and drums on a few tracks. Whereas this one, it's got a
saxophone. It's got a saxophone.
Yeah, it's got a horn section. It's got a massive squonking saxophone solo on one of the songs, and it's got trombone and trumpet, a lot more piano. Drums are a bit more sort of forceful on this one, I think. So it's kind of it's a few years after the first one, so it's doing a few different things that I didn't do before.
Well, I'm listening to the record and I think, is this something that you're going to transfer to a full band non-canon show?
I hope so. We did 3 at the end of the the end of the period for the first album. So we did 2 in Bristol, like a matinee and an evening one, and then we did 1 in London, St Pancras Old Church, and it was really fun. Yeah, it's kind of stressful and logistically complicated, and now there are more people involved, so it would be even more complicated. But it's definitely something I want to do at some point, because it's just recreating that sound would be really fun live.
It would be fun, yeah.
Yeah, I get to see all the people that played on the album and hang out and stuff. So, yeah.
So how many musicians have you got on this new album? You mentioned a big long list of instruments there.
Yeah, there are loads. I let me look at the liner notes so that I don't forget anyone, because I was thinking about this the other day. So there's a drummer, Gareth, who played on the first album. He's played a band called My First Tooth, who I've played with a bunch of times over the years. Bass guitar, double bass and electric bass were done by Neil, who up until recently played in Oxygen Thief. The cello was done by John Clayton, who is in Chris T.T. and the Hood Rats, or was in Chris T.T. and the Hood Rats. So he played the cello on the first album and produced that one as well. Trombone and trumpet with Ben, who was the drummer in Oxygen Thief up until recently. He can play a million things. I wanted to get him involved in one of his other guises. Saxophone, a chap called Pete Fraser, who is the singer for Down I Go, which is about as far away from this sound that you can get, really.
Yeah, right.
Violin and viola was done by Hannah Johns from the Ley Lines,
Cool.
kind of fairly local to me. Pianos played by a friend called Ryan Brooks, who is a drummer for. He was in a band called Left Side Brain, who was one of my favourite bands.
I know them.
Goliath, who again don't sound anything like, I'm pointing the wrong way again, the Non Canon stuff. It's sort of super doomy sludge metal. But he plays piano as well, so he came around and hung out. We did that for an afternoon. And there's a couple more people. Alex Ball, who played on the first album, and I went to school with him and was in my first band with him. The last bit was a friend, Chris Buick, who is a friend and a neighbour, and he played a bit of guitar that I wrote but wasn't able to play consistently enough on the album. Every time I played it, I was just like, no, that was crap. Do it again. Kept doing it. Couldn't get it right. So I was like, Chris, can you play the guitar on this bit, please? I'll buy you beer.
It's a right proper supergroup that you formed there, then.
It is, yeah. And a few people are playing more than one thing. So when we do it live, Ben can't play trombone and trumpet at the same time, I don't think. So
Where's the challenge?
Gonna have a couple of extra people in, but it'll be fun.
So you're dropping this album. Obviously, no one planned for the lockdown and coronavirus and all the rest of it. So you're dropping this album right in a time where basically people can't go watch you live. They can't sort of interact with you in that way. Did you think about not releasing it? Do you think of postponing it, or are you just going to, how are you getting around that?
It crossed my mind a bit, but I think, to some extent, life does need to sort of keep going a bit. And it's stuff I do is fairly low key anyway. It's not like someone's, got a stadium tour to sort of follow off the back of. There was a few things that I was going to do, but and now not. I just want it to be out there, really, and then people can listen to it, and then we'll do some shows at the other end of things and relaunch.
So where did the inspiration come for the second album? Because if I remember right, your first Non Canon album, there's quite a lot of inspiration from different film and different adaptations of different stories that have been told in different movie universes. Does this follow the same pattern?
Well, yeah. Well, the song titles for both albums sort of steal heavily from non-canonical works, but the songs themselves aren't really about any of those things. It's something that I kind of took the titles as a framework sometimes, and sometimes they don't have anything to do with the actual lyrical content. But I chose
the name for a song.
Yeah, and I chose the name Non Canon because it does mean like the unofficial. It sort of felt like the ideal name for a side project, because it's like the Oxygen Thief has been the thing that I've done for ages, and that sort of has felt like the way I've defined myself. You know, like I'm this guy who headbangs and shouts.
And now you're not.
Yeah, so now I sort of tried a different route.
You're an onion. You've got layers. You've got range.
Hopefully, yeah. And if you cut me, I will make you cry.
Do you tend to find that you've got kind of two different fan bases? Do you find that the non-canon fan bases, you see a different kind of demographic come into your shows compared to the Oxygen Thief, or is it the same people just wanting a more mellow evening?
There's definitely people that I think the difference between the two is, for me, is that Oxygen Thief is very like, it's here and it's right in your face, and you kind of have to get on board or get out of the way. Where non-canon is much more of like an offering of thing, like here it is, listen to it, welcome kind of thing. Whereas so it's I think I definitely notice that when I sort of gig with other people, when I support other people, that people sort of seem a bit more, they don't seem less scared of me, I think, after gigs, because yeah, I'm
you didn't shout at their face for half an hour.
No. And
yeah.
I've
how's that affect on people?
Yeah, and I've often said, you know, like, I play aggressive music, but I'm quite a polite person, which is the right way around. But
yes, definitely.
But yeah, it's I mean, imagine polite metal interspersed with just absolutely violently aggressive banter. It's I'm sure there's somebody that's done that.
I'm sure Kieran knows them as well.
Yeah,
almost certainly.
But yeah, it's I know people who sort of prefer one to the other, maybe, but it kind of goes in both ways, and then it's quite nice. It's a little bit complicated, I think.
I've been seeing that streams tend to be quite localized as well. So I you know, if we do a stream of a band from Swindon, we'll get a lot of people from Swindon watching it. Even though on the web and anybody can watch it, you don't get anybody. You get the people associated with where you're from, if that makes sense. So you can do a tour of the UK, virtual tour. You might be able to go play Manchester or go play York and actually get people from those local communities watch you. So
yeah, play on with the tour we were supposed to be doing with John Snodgrass. B-sides, we're still going to do the Bristol one of that from the Exchange's website, or from the Exchange's page.
Perfect.
And then I'm waiting to hear back from the Manchester gang, because Sam Russo was doing that one as well for his kind of album release. So, but I suppose the beauty of it is that you don't really have to plan that far ahead, because we're all at home.
You can do it on the day.
Yeah, which, you know, I suppose sometimes there's a lot of things going on, isn't there? There's sort of things clash, but yeah, I just kind of want to do as much as I can, but
without overdoing it.
Yeah, I don't want to annoy people. Or
not going to mention any names, but there has been some artists that have been live every single day, and you can't keep up. It's impossible.
Yeah, but then it's fine if that's what they want to do, and that you don't have to watch them. You know,
absolutely, yeah, sure.
Especially people who have lots of songs to play or know lots of colours and things, whereas I have 2 albums and maybe 2 colours, and then admittedly an entirely other act that I could do. So maybe I'll do a live stream where I just play as much stuff as I can. I don't know, or just have Monty just sat with me and people can just look at that and send PayPal money for Dreamies. I mean, he's looking at me like that's a great idea.
You should do a montage video of cats, because I've got a great video of my daughter playing the cat as drums with drumsticks as arms. So that would look great in a cat montage video.
Have you got any music videos with your tracks, Barry?
Yeah. There's
the new album.
Yeah, there's a video for the new album, which we shot in the end of February, before lockdown was a thing. And the concept behind the video is this kind of repetitive actions that is supposed to. So the song is The Sayings of the Seers, and the song is about kind of routine and boredom and the same thing over and over again. So the video is this kind of looping series of actions.
Saying of Seers.
Yeah, The Sayings of the Seers, which, in hindsight, the video now looks like someone slowly going insane during lockdown, but it wasn't meant to be.
That wasn't the intention.
We just accidentally predicted a thing. The last Oxygen Thief video that we made was a virtual gig. It was people putting on a VR headset and then appearing in avatar form in the exchange and rocking out, and then it cutting back to them being where they were. So I've got an uncanny predictive ability on.
I remember that, and it was a brilliant video. And I remember you afterwards going, "Oh, I predicted this. It happened."
Yeah. So I need to start predicting slightly more like fun, socially enriching things rather than stuff that's sort of indicative of the decay of society. But
creepy and overtaken, yeah.
Yeah.
May be open, but my mind is still parked beneath the duvet, where it's warm and it's safe. It'll be at least 11 before I'm vaguely awake. I don't remember walking in today. I don't remember what excuse I gave for being so late. They're all blurred, and I'm not sure if the reason I made up is one I lied about before. I've spent all winter waiting for some daylight so I can improve this early morning lifestyle. I've spent all winter waiting for the solstice so I can stop living this nocturnal shit. I hate going home in the dark. I know I'm so privileged, but still don't feel safe walking through the park. I can't see the wood, I can't see the trees, I can't see the monsters lying in wait for me. Remember walking together in the sunshine with no need to rush, just taking our time. I've spent all winter waiting for the solstice so I can stop living this nocturnal shift. I've spent months waiting for these lighter evenings so I can shake off my tedious mood swings. Next year let's hibernate all my grades. I don't mind as long as we can both escape. Fly south of the equator, we'll sleep in much later and dream of the still to come brighter day. La 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 la.
if any musicians out there have any videos or any news or any gigs, well, not gigs, streams coming up, and they want to let us know, the email address to get in touch is sheerisolation@gmail.com. So you can just drop us a line on there. And if you've got any videos, we'll put them into our little bank of ever-growing. Like, we've got quite a collection of videos that we're struggling to fit in. So we've got a good couple of months worth of material to go yet. So that's exciting.
Easy. Yeah. Definitely. Oh, John, tell me, for the people who will be listening to this rather than viewing it, what T-shirt are you wearing?
Today I'm gone for a very old Danger Mouse T-shirt.
Danger Mouse.
Not as in the band or the who is Danger? He's kind of a
dance act.
Dance, isn't it? Yeah, not just as in the old Cosgrove and Hall animation.
Very cool. And I'm wearing my boys and girls from Swindon All Ears of Owl T-shirt.
What a band.
I think red looks good on me.
Yeah. It's my turn to pick a track this week, and I have chosen a track from Larkham and Hall. They are a Bristol couple. One thing about the two of them, though, that aside from just doing music, and they do quite a lot of music and gigs all across Bristol, Swindon, across the region, but they're also quite heavily involved with charity work, and they particularly work for a charity called Mind Your Music. They have all kinds of drumming workshops, music workshops. They do different gigs as well, and it's to support people who've got different mental illnesses, and it kind of brings out that kind of instinct that we all have that music brings everybody together. So they've been doing this for years, just organising different events to help people through music. And obviously at the moment they can't do it just because of we're all kind of keeping away from each other. I think mental illness is not being overlooked at the moment, but it's something that's kind of probably not as high up for the agenda as it necessarily should be.
Sunlight hits the water, but she's feeling cold, cold, cold. And she's still young, someone's daughter, but her spirit is old, old, old. And she's falling into disrepair, too young. She knows, and she needs to feel that someone cares, but they don't. Another coffee, and the milk is turning sour, and the telephone, it never rings. She's been home from work for hours, and she's falling into loneliness, too young. She knows. It's been so long since she felt her best, and it shows. Staircase, she's standing on the ledge, face, and her mind is on the edge, and she's falling into clear air. Here she goes, she goes, she goes. Nobody's wife, nobody's there. She floats, she floats, she floats.
That was Last Song by Larkham and Hall. So that's Sarah Larkham and Elliot Hall. And as I said, as well as doing their own music, they also help out, and they're big supporters of the Mind Your Music charity in Bristol, which, as their own little strapline goes, it's promoting better mental health through the creation and performance of music. So you can look them up, mindyourmusic.org, to find out more information about that.
We all know music is a healer. It does wonderful things for us.
It really does, and we are missing not going to gigs, as we were talking through that song, which is very rude of us, but we do tend to do that. I was saying even prior to this, I haven't been going to that many gigs, particularly towards the end of last year, which I feel slightly guilty for. But obviously now that I can't go, I'm kind of missing them a lot more.
Yeah, when you don't know, you don't realise what you're missing until it's gone. I'm sure the opportunity will come very swiftly to make up for it. I've got a massive array of live recordings from all the shows I did in sort of 2014, 2015 time. And for some reason, I had a laptop then that you could just do a phono 2-track out from a mixing desk into the laptop and just click record, and boom, it got the stereo 2-track, no problems. Modern laptops don't have that way of taking a signal, so I've had to get myself an interface. Literally, I can take a jack or an XLR out of the mixing desk, and now I can record 2 stereo 2-tracks. I'm going to go back to recording them. We're going to get some really cool recordings of all these great acts we're going to start doing again very soon, and build another array of amazing live shows.
Now we've got this going, you need to take a camera as well, so you can actually get some video, some live stuff.
Yes, I will do that.
This is turning into our weekly segment of two old blokes talking, because it's true, laptops don't have enough ports in them anymore.
They don't. My son got a laptop recently. He didn't even have a CD drive.
They don't anymore. My one doesn't. They don't put CDs in them now.
We're so old.
And my work one only has, I think this one as well, only has HDMI. So my older...
You've not even got VGA?
No, it's got HDMI and USB ports. That is it.
I must have one of the last laptops because its laptop's practically brand new. It has got VGA and a CD drive, so...
Yeah. Well, you obviously just spent money. That's where I've gone wrong. I've just not spent money.
Well, this is don't tell my work. This is actually my work's laptop. So. Okay, I'm working from home. It's fine.
Right. I don't even know how we got onto that conversation, but never mind. What's coming up in the next week then? Have you got any streams coming up? Do you know of anyone that's doing anything special?
Actually, I've not kept my ear to the ground, so I don't. There will probably be a share stream because we do one every Wednesday. And last week we did have someone confirmed that. And this week we don't have anyone confirmed. I don't know who it's going to be, but there will definitely be someone on Wednesday. Just tune into the Sheer Music Facebook page. Go to the page, not the group. Last night someone streamed from the group, and I couldn't find it because I was on the wrong page. She was already 2 songs in before I caught up.
It does get confusing though with the various social networks that It's going to make me sound really old again, isn't it? But Facebook has changed the layouts completely now. And on my laptop, it's completely different to my tablet. I get very confused very easily these days.
Too many buttons or not enough buttons.
There's too many buttons and not enough ports. That's the problem.
That's what we're taking away from this.
That is what we're taking away, yes. That is the mantra for this episode. There's too many buttons, not enough ports. Right. Kieran,
That's it.
It's been an absolute pleasure once again.
Always a pleasure, never a chore.
Always a pleasure. All right, see you guys next week. Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye.